History records Jalal-ud-din Muhammad Akbar as a ruler of impossible contradictions. He ordered the massacre of 30,000 civilians in a single afternoon, yet he also abolished discriminatory religious taxes and built a meritocracy that reached across the subcontinent. This is the world he inherited in the mid-16th century. The Indian subcontinent was a fractured landscape of dozens of competing kingdoms, defined by rigid religious divisions and constant violent warfare. Akbar began as a powerless, illiterate exile in the Sindh desert. He never learned to read or write, yet he expanded his power from a single fortress until his empire consumed nearly this entire map. This raises a question about his legacy. Was his religious tolerance a genuine mark of progressive enlightenment, or was it a calculated mask worn by a Machiavellian conqueror? To understand how the blueprint for a pluralistic India was first drafted, we must confront the paradox of the man who forced it into existence. Akbar's childhood was spent in exile in the Afghan mountains, separated from his parents and surrounded by competing relatives. He learned early that in a fragmented world, showing weakness invited immediate death. To survive, he had to project absolute power. In 1568, at the siege of Chittor, he ordered the slaughter of 30,000 unarmed civilians after the fort fell. This brutality extended to Gondwana. He launched an unprovoked invasion of Rani Durgavati's kingdom, destroying a peaceful society to claim its territory for his expansion. Akbar officially declared the Chittor massacre a jihad, using the language of religious extremism to send a paralyzing political message to every other ruler in India. The initial foundation of the Mughal Empire was not a product of diplomacy. Its foundational mortar was unvarnished, calculated terror. But as his territory grew, Akbar reached a strategic limit. A ruler can conquer with a sword, but it is impossible to govern 100 million diverse people using only violence. He pivoted to a strategy of integration. He brought his fiercest enemies, the Rajputs, into the highest levels of his military and his own family, using diplomatic marriage to secure their loyalty. He formalized this through the Mansabdari system. This was a meritocratic hierarchy where a person's pay and military obligations were determined by a numerical rank assigned by the emperor, effectively allowing a Hindu noble to hold the same administrative power as a Muslim peer. In 1564, he moved to stabilize the economy by abolishing the jizya, a per capita tax levied on non-Muslims. By removing this centuries-old financial penalty, he decoupled religious identity from a subject status before the state. At his capital in Fatehpur Sikri, he hosted Jesuits, Hindus, and Muslims to debate theology. He was searching for Sol-e-Kul, or universal peace, a principle of coexistence reflected in the Hindu motifs built into his Islamic palace. Inclusion was a strategic evolution. It provided the institutional stability necessary to keep a massive, volatile empire from fracturing from within. The man who massacred Chittor and the man who abolished the jizya were not separate entities. They represent a single, unified political genius. His religious tolerance served two purposes. It was a genuine personal search for truth and the most effective strategy for population control in the medieval world. The administrative machine he built concentrated enough wealth to construct entire cities from red sandstone and commission monumental architecture like the Buland Darwaza seen here. By abolishing the jizya and integrating diverse elites into a single legal system, Akbar established the first historical precedent for a non-sectarian state in India. The pluralistic principles enshrined in this modern constitution rely on that same governing model of decoupling faith from citizenship. Historical greatness is not a measure of moral goodness, but of impact. We must accept that the foundations of modern, tolerant societies were often forged in the fires of complex brutality.